What's up, you guys? It's Cobalt here. Welcome back to another video. I decided that I would post a video every single day this week, all of which are my custom commission collection videos. These are still customs from back in 2024 because I haven't posted one of these in so long before this week, so that's why I fell so behind with them. But a lot of you guys seem to like these videos, so that's why I wanted to just post a bunch of them all in a row. But anyways, without further ado, let's get right on into it. Next up is another commission for somebody over on Etsy. This one has very few sculpted parts. I sculpted her little necklace and the claws on the front paws, and this one was actually designed by me. The commissioner just gave me some details of what they might like, and I came up with this design. I also added some little heart glitters in the eyes just because I thought the eyes were missing something, so I added those as well. But yeah, it's just this brown and purple wolf. I think that she turned out really pretty, and I'm very happy with the design. And this was done on a G7 wolf base, and on the bottom she has more little purple paws. This is a commission for somebody on Etsy of their pet dog that passed away. I used a Generation 1 boxer dog base for this one, and the paint job on him was pretty simple because I use a black base coat for all of my realistic style customs, and this was a black dog, so really I just had to add in the little extra dry brushing details of the various brown furs, and I'd say the biggest challenge was just adding the white. But besides that, nothing about this custom really took me a very long time. And I love how, again, glossy the eyes look, but the way that I painted them also just makes them look very vibrant and shiny, and I love it a lot. This commission was another one of somebody's pet cat who passed away from somebody on Instagram, and it is made from a crouching cat base. This is a fake base figure, and once again it is painted in my realistic style. It's a very simple design, just some white with some gray splotches. It's got this gray tail, and I really love the way that I painted the eyes. I think they look super cute, especially with how large the crouching cat eyes are. And of course we have the little paws here on the bottom, as well as my signature. And overall I really like the way that this one came out, and I had a lot of fun making it, so I hope that the commissioner likes it as well, and I appreciate that they reached out to me to help memorialize their pet. Alright, had to seriously zoom out for this one because this commission is actually a full body doll anthropomorphic kind of commission, and this is actually purchased just under my normal simple repaint category, so there's no sculpting, although the commissioner did have to pay the extra price for the body, but they paid for the body and then purchased the commission order, and I did the repaint of it. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this custom already. I actually posted a whole video about creating this and how I attach the head, so if you haven't seen that already, I would definitely recommend checking it out. But the body also has a detachable tail which hooks on with magnets. So this is my first time doing anything like that, and I had a lot of fun with it. And his head also moves around, which is very cool. And you probably recognize this custom as well because I did actually make a normal version of it in a normal LPS form for the same person. But yeah, it was a very, very fun commission order, and I had a lot of fun getting to do this challenge and trying to figure out how to make this guy work. I really enjoyed doing this commission because I feel like the character has a super, super cool design, and I also think that the eye is very expressive. So here is the character, and here is the reference sheet for said character. This is a commission for somebody over on Etsy, and again, I think their OC is super, super cool. For sculpting, I sculpted the hair here, covering up one eye, and then I also sculpted a little bit on the tail to give it sort of this curly shape at the end, because on the reference sheet it had sort of a little curly Q there in the line art, and the commissioner wanted me to transfer that to the custom as well. So it's obviously a lot thicker here, just so that it doesn't break off with the sculpting, and both of those pieces are sculpted using epoxy sculpt. And then obviously it is made on a fake Collie body, and everything else is just painted. He's got a lot of details. He has a very cool eye, got these little lines and textures here on him. He also has a bunch of tiny little hearts. There's some here on all of the legs, as well as the tail, on the face, and on the ears, which are a little bit harder to see, but I think they were very cool, and I had a lot of fun adding them all, just, you know, paying attention to all the little details. He also has some extra special details here on the bottom, like the little paw pads and the design that was on the character's stomach. Next up, we have another OC commission from Etsy, but this time it was a gift for the person's friend. And once again, this is the reference sheet for this character. They're very cool. This person just purchased a simple repaint version, so I did not sculpt the hair or anything like that to make it look like the reference, but I painted it the best of my ability to make it similar. This one also has super cool eyes. It's got these cool swirly designs in them. If you look closely, there's also a little bit of texture with some lighter and darker colors within the yellow, and I also love how shiny the eyes came out. Other than that, it is just an orange and red cat with a bunch of little designs. There's also some stripes here and there, which were a pain to paint because I am awful at painting stripes, but I think they turned out pretty good. He also has some yellow paws, and if you look closely, there's also a little star there on the chest. Then we have a little adorable kitten commission. This is made from a fake base, and this is again for somebody over on Etsy, and this is of their brand new pet kitten. So I had a lot of fun making this one. Very, very simple design. Did not take me too long to paint whatsoever, but I think she is absolutely adorable, and I really love tortoiseshell cats because they remind me of my own cat. Next up, we have an order of 2 commissions, and this one I absolutely love so much, but let's talk about this custom first because I finished him first. This one's a little bit more on the simple side, and of course these 2 were commissioned for somebody over on Instagram that has commissioned me before in the past, which I really appreciate. But anyways, here is the reference sheet that was provided with this little German Shepherd. This custom was actually designed by the one and only Tiki's LPS Customs, and I obviously changed up the design a little bit to translate into my own LPS custom here. It's got some really cool dragon sort of eyes, or reptilian or cat-like eyes here, and it is of course made from an authentic German Shepherd base, and I sculpted the tufts of fur on the sides of the ears, the fluff on the cheeks, the little heart necklace, and the 2 tails, which resemble scorpion tails, and then it is dark red and brown with a bunch of little spots, and it also has these scars on the face, which are also sculpted. I basically just laid down some clay, smoothed it out, and then carved into it with one of my clay tools so that it looks like the scar is actually cut into the LPS itself. And it also has a little bit of a messy sort of dry brush gradient here on the mouth and the chest. Now let's take a look at the second custom, which I think is the real star of the show here, and it is this commission. So basically with this custom, the person provided me a mood board, which is this mood board here, and it is a compilation of a bunch of photos representing different places that this person has traveled to that are important to them, which I think is a really unique idea for a mood board. And then they let me design this custom all on my own and basically just go completely all out with it and do whatever I wanted, which is probably why I love this custom so much. It was just really fun to create, and I am so happy with the way that it came out. So first off, it is a head swap of a wolfcat head on a goat body. It is a fake Generation 2 wolfcat head and a G7 goat body. All of the sculpting was done with epoxy sculpt, and I sculpted the tree coming out of the eye here. So I actually cut the eye out and the tree is coming out of the hole, and I really love like the texture that I got here with the tree leaves. And there's also this little waterfall coming out of the eye. It's got 2 flowers here and this big tail. The tip of the tail, like probably this much of it, was actually taken from a fairy. I will put a picture on screen of what this custom looked like before I painted it, just so you can see what I'm talking about here. And then I sculpted the connector piece from the body to the part of the tail that is not sculpted. And then I also added this little house, the lighthouse, and this pool of water with 2 waterfalls in it. I absolutely love the way that it is painted, and this deeper section here by my pinky finger is actually filled with some resin. I was gonna make the whole thing out of resin, but the resin that I have is just diorama resin for water, so it doesn't really dry hard. It's still like kind of squishy if it is not in a solid surface. Anyways, I decided to sculpt the water instead of doing my original idea of making it all resin, and then I created this little divot here and filled that with resin, as well as putting some resin here on the waterfalls, on the tail and the eye, just like a really thin layer of it. And of course the eye is super shiny as well, and here is what the back looks like. There's also a gradient on the tail from yellow to pink to purple that sort of looks like a little sunset. I added some clouds as well. But yeah, I really love the way that this custom came out, and I hope that the commissioner likes it as well, and I'm glad that it's going to a good home of somebody who owns a bunch of other customs from me. Next up, we have another super detailed custom. It's got a ton going on, and it's also a head swap. It is a head swap between a German Shepherd head with repositioned ears and a Great Dane body. Of course, the head is authentic and the body is fake, and there's a ton of sculpted parts, all of which are done using epoxy sculpt, since it was the only clay that I had on hand at the time. Not sure what this green thing on the tail is, but I will get that off before I ship it. Anyways, on the body, I sculpted the skeleton hand right here that this character has. I sculpted basically all the clothes. There's like this cool shiny part where you can see the character's ribs. It has this like cape or jacket kind of thing, these winged shoes, and of course this big fluffy tail. I also sculpted the hair, the horns, the eyebrows, and this skull part with the skull tooth. And obviously the eyes are extra shiny, and I also made the horns and again the skeletal parts shiny as well, just because I thought that would be really cool. And I know the commissioner originally asked if I could do resin, which is not something that I do on my commissions, so I figured making it kind of like shiny and glittery would give it that resin-like effect. But let's take a look at the reference sheet. So this is the reference sheet that the commissioner provided for me, and you can see their character. I really appreciate that they not only showed me their character, but also showed me a translation of it in LPS form that made it very easy for me. Another little detail on this character is the little flower on their shirt. Very cool. And I also really love how detailed the eyes are. But yeah, that is pretty much all that I have to say about this guy, even though they have so much going on, but it was a ton of fun to make, and I think the character design is super cool. Next Next up, we have a commission for one of my friends over on Instagram. You may recognize them because they have commissioned me 2 times before in the past, and I am so glad that I got to make another one of his characters because I think they are so cool. So this is their character Kurt, and I gotta show the reference, but I think he has such a cool and creative design, and I had so much fun translating him into an LPS. So as you can see, it is made from an ear-up Collie base, and I sculpted the hair, I sculpted his little goatee, his little armbands, and his stubby little tail, and he has all of these little spots and things around his body as well. And I also really like the half-lidded eyes with the teardrop shape. I think it is super cool idea. And then of course I also added the character's designs on his chest with the top surgery scars and the little dots as well, and of course his paws on the bottom too. They were super small details, but I thought that it was really important that I added them, and I also love his little mustache. Next up, we have a custom of Isabelle from Animal Crossing. Very recognizable character and very fun custom to create. This was for somebody over on Etsy, and of course I gotta give a huge shout out to this person over on Instagram because this design was sort of inspired by them. The commissioner approached me with the sticker design that this creator had made, and obviously I asked them permission if I can make an Isabelle custom using the same base, but I tried my best to make it unique to my own style and make it as different as I possibly could. Although of course it is the same base figure and the sculpting would be roughly the same, but I sculpted her hair with the little tuft here, the little band with the jingle bells, and her bangs, and of course this is from a G7 base, but I think that she turned out absolutely adorable. And I tried to make the eyes super detailed as well, because obviously the character in Animal Crossing just has little black eyes, but I thought that these really pretty green eyes with some little hearts in them would be fitting, and I think that she turned out absolutely adorable, and I had so much fun making this custom. And here is the final commission for today's video. This one was done for somebody over on Instagram, and as you can see, this is one of my, I guess, replica LPS customs. So this is basically just a recreation of an LPS that already exists. This is the real LPS in question, and supposedly this LPS is very expensive online, so the commissioner wanted a cheaper option of obtaining this LPS, and that is why they asked me to paint it. I have done a replica custom one other time of Dachshund 909, which I think turned out pretty good, so I had a lot of fun doing this cat as well. And I really hope that I got her colors accurate because I've never seen this LPS in real life, but I looked at various reference photos, so I think I'm relatively confident about how it turned out, although if you compare the two in real life, I don't think she would look as similar. But that's really all that I have to say about this LPS in particular. I think my favorite thing about this LPS is the eyelashes. They're very unique, and there's really no other LPS that are like that. But even though that's all that I have to say about the custom, this commission set, I suppose, actually came with a couple more items that I would like to show you. So first up are these little glasses. These are just a repainted accessory, but the commissioner asked me to paint them like their actual glasses because this is sort of like going to be their mascot character or just an LPS that represents them, which I think is a lot of fun. And all the details on the glasses were very fun to paint as well. So here's how it looks on the custom. Just kind of fit them on. I would definitely be careful just so that the paint doesn't chip or scratch or anything. I sealed it, but I'm not entirely confident that it won't get damaged or anything. But anyways, I think with the glasses on, she looks absolutely adorable. The commissioner wasn't sure if they wanted the glasses to be removable or not, but I figured that I would just go with the removable option so there's a little bit more versatility. And the glasses are cute and all, you know, a fun little repaint thing. But I would say the biggest challenge of this commission was creating this wheelchair, because the commissioner uses a wheelchair, so they also wanted their LPS version of themselves to have one as well. So I have to zoom out a little bit so I can show you this thing. For starters, here is the size comparison of it to an LPS, so I guess not an accurate size, but I wanted it to actually be able to have the LPS fit by sitting on it, and I think she fits pretty well as long as you angle her tail into the back corner like that. And once again, this is based off of the commissioner's real wheelchair. I had absolutely no idea how I was going to make this, and it definitely turned out a little janky, as you can see, but I tried my best given the fact that I have never made anything like this, and the commissioner's happy with it, so I'm happy with it. But I was going to also take a photo of it before I painted it, but I forgot to do that. So it is essentially just made of cardboard with some clay added here or there. The handles, this is clay here, and then wire, and these wheels are Lego wheels. This part is toothpicks and wires combined with clay. This bottom part is a toothpick, and then the front little wheels are made with clay as well. And there's like this little rainbow pattern on the wheels because their wheelchair has wheels that light up rainbow, so I added that as well. And then right here is like a little control that they can use to drive the wheelchair around, and that is made with clay as well. So honestly, I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, even though it's not the greatest thing I've ever made by any means. But for a first try, for somebody who's definitely not the best at making their own accessories, I think that it turned out really cute. And I think this was such a creative choice to have done for a commission that I had a ton of fun doing. And the commissioner also brought up to me the point that point. We've had LPS doctors themed sets in the past, but we've never had an LPS wheelchair, so I think it would be super, super cool if Basic Fun ever does that again in the future, if they can make an LPS wheelchair accessory. I think that would be super awesome and a really inclusive thing to add for newer audiences of LPS. And those were all of the customs for today's video. If you guys watched every single video that I posted this week, thank you so much. I also hope that you had a good Thanksgiving if you live here in the US and celebrate. But now we're officially in the holiday Christmas spirit, so expect some videos for that theming very, very soon. Next week, I am hoping to finally post an LPS custom tutorial on how to paint LPS style eyes like the ones that I've done here for Cobalt. So I hope you guys are excited for that, and I will see you all then. Bye!